Hello, everybody. I wanted to give a brief update on my thoughts of the crypto market and really just check in on a couple of things. One is, the tough part of all this, guys, is being able to play this as we go along, meaning the higher things go, what do we do? What do we do in terms of taking profits, continuing to buy different crypto tokens and coins when they just take off the way that they have? I'm very grateful that a lot of you were responsive, this summer and fall, and even before the first of the year, to take some positions on some of the crypto plays and even just Bitcoin, Ethereum in general. A lot of us are making a lot of money. Actually, money that I didn't really expect or imagine to make at this juncture, but it is welcomed and I am ready. And I think a big part of that is because I have goals and missions beyond myself. Otherwise, it can get uncomfortable actually when you start to make huge amounts of money. And I've had this happen to me in the past where I would sort of whittle myself back down to size, subconsciously or otherwise, with being, uncomfortable with having these big wins and being a steward of so much on the profit side compared to what I was used to. But in this case, bring it on, bring it through. And I am not putting a cap or a limit on it simply because, at the end of the day, I think it's very important to have a place in which, or places or issues or whatever close to your heart that you want to have as your own mission, as your own legacy. And money certainly helps that. So, in any event, that's where we are at with some of us in the crypto market because the profits have been extraordinary. So, where does that leave us now today? I'm just going to give you a few firm thoughts that I have, which is A, Ethereum has just broken out into new highs yesterday, and we had put an alert out on this to the crypto report members. There are various tiers that you can join with our crypto group. I'm going to post that and those links below here after we record this. And even in our premium model portfolio, we put out a trade alert. The last one, or the first one, I believe I've reiterated this in the $500 to $600 range for Ethereum, but we have an official purchase in the model portfolio, which was back in July at $244 on Ethereum, which obviously is now up close to 5x. So what do we do? What do you do if you've got these things? What do you do if you have none of them and you're trying to catch up and want to get in the game? It's this is where it gets tricky, right? So what I can tell you is that despite the enormous position I have in Ethereum, and I've been harping on this really the last few months before Ethereum really cranked from that six-ish hundred level and started to play catch up aggressively to Bitcoin. I had mentioned shifting focus and allocation to Ethereum and growing it as a percentage of what it has been to Bitcoin, which are my two core positions. And Bitcoin is still the largest in crypto, but Ethereum had been boosted to about 2/3 of my Bitcoin position. It's over that now because of the outperformance. And the thing is that there are intervals within this bull cycle, which is very powerful, and it is going to continue. It's going to continue to be very difficult for people to hold through certain swings, which is why at the Gold Investment Letter we talk about the psychology of trading, investing, scaling in, scaling out, when to buy, when to take profits to try to alleviate some of the emotional whipsaws that we see with these big gains, with these big even losses. When you have a loss and you're scared about losing the rest of it, and we can end up having real susceptibilities of doing things at the wrong times. But what I can tell you is that there are also times within this cycle and this activity that you have to pounce. And I pounced on Ethereum yesterday, topping up a position, just like I had mentioned with Bitcoin. Even though we were buying it in the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,000 area for a long period of time, not 3, 4, 5 and up, many different intervals of time over the last 2.5 years, and really was pounding the table before it took off and kind of doubled there really quickly to get to that 20,000 level. And then it was like, okay, now people are calling and want to get involved, and it's not as good of a buy as it was. But I had mentioned that you should at least have powder dry and ready for when the 20K level is broken. It is going to accelerate. This move will accelerate, and it is going to be great for at least a trade on top of what you have. Or if you've missed things, that is the signal that you better have an account set up, you better have cash ready, and you better be able to hit the buy button before you're, say, at 21.5, because that was just basic, that was a basic observation that I thought was a no-brainer, and it was. And now, with Ethereum breaking through 1500, really it was yesterday around that 1480-ish level that broke the previous high. And it's after a consolidation. The consolidations are not lasting super long in the crypto bull market right now, because I think we're still early, and it is frustrating buyers on the pullbacks. And Ethereum had a nice base built before this next move. But I got to tell you, this is where you can take low levels of risk and you buy that breakout in the 1500s. Now we're above 1600, I believe, which you can still buy, especially if you don't have any ETH on the books, or very much. Ethereum, at a minimum, you're looking on a breakout like this, similar to what I had mentioned on the 20K with Bitcoin. You've got a layup to around the 2K area. So call it, 1900 to 2K. That's a 20, 25, 30% trade that I think is a no-brainer. And so you could play it on the conservative side in this crazy industry and flip it. And I think you flip it like by tomorrow probably, but certainly that could be a little aggressive. But I think that 2000 area is likely to be challenged, call it within a week to 10 days by Valentine's Day, and probably gets busted out through. And I think that 2000 to 2500 level could certainly be the range we see this month. So that is, we've got 3.5 weeks left in the month. If you see a move into the 22-ish hundred area, that's a 50% move from where it is right now, around 1600. That's a big trade, big trade. But then obviously the more you let that roll above, call it this 90, I always like to sell some just below these rounded out numbers. I would never put a sell in at 2000. I would put it at 1960, 1970, 1980, but I would never do it at that round number where everybody's waiting and there's a wall there. But you could basically go in here, scalp, if you will, but a 20%, trade, even in a quarter, is not a scalp. It's a big win. Annualized at 80%, even if it takes 3 months, is big. So in any event, you could take a little bit more of a risk, which is what I would do if you're light on crypto, if you're light on Ethereum, if you're light on Bitcoin, if you don't have many of these altcoins that are just making some of us wealthy. The return profiles that we've seen just in the last couple of months, it's been crazy. And playing it correctly and not selling a bunch of it after a little move is a big part of really allowing for this to be a life-changing scenario. Now, if you let it go a little bit further with Ethereum, I would say, then you're taking on additional risk, but I'm looking for 2,500 and I'm looking for it in pretty short order, meaning, short order would be, 2 months in most scenarios. I think that could certainly qualify as short order. In this case, it could happen quicker. Ethereum is really the number one potential disruptor and the dethroner of Bitcoin as the largest market capitalization crypto on the planet. And I don't think it'll happen this year. And I think it may not ever happen. But if there is one token that is going to be the king besides Bitcoin in terms of size, I think Ethereum has the best shot of doing that. And that would mean that we're talking about $5, $10, $15, $20,000 Ethereum. And I think there's a lot of reasons why that will become evident that it's possible as they move forward to the release of Ethereum 2.0. But there's a little chasm here between now and then throughout the year. That said, this technical breakout and what I'm seeing, it looks great. So I would at least trade this move. And then I want to talk a little bit, give you a gift or two here. I hope we've had multiple, probably even in the tier 2 crypto report group, with the DeFi, decentralized finance names that I've recommended in the past, call it 2 months or so, we've had just huge, massive winners. All of them are up. Many of them are up 3, 4, 5x or more. And they're getting tougher to find in terms of really small market capitalization, huge upside potential DeFi names, because the market is catching on to these plays. So luckily, I have gone even down the ladder to find some stuff that I think is just beginning to come onto the cusp of what will be an explosive move. And we've seen that once these DeFi names become discovered, they can really have huge capital inflows. I mean, we've seen it with Uniswap, which has become a top token in the world. That was my main pick with regard to the DeFi situation back in December. That was released to our premium members, elite members, as well as certainly through the crypto reports. But one of them I'll give you today, which is, if you want a flyer, and you can really only buy this. We buy it on Binance.com. If you are anybody who lives outside of the US, you can use the link below, and it's going to give you priority in terms of sign up. You're going to get a kickback on your commission, and you can sign up at Binance.com. Okay. If you are US based, they're going to try to get you to go to Binance.us. It doesn't allow for these type of tokens in terms of the availability just yet, because of the fear around anything being labeled a security. And so Binance has separated those two things. But if you are able to, as a non-US resident, or if you have a secondary residence or citizenship, go ahead and sign up on Binance.com. If you're already on Binance.com, I would take a position in Unified Protocol, Unified DAO Protocol, which is UNFI. Okay, this is one that we took an initial position, and I'd have to look. I will look at my records, but a lot of the DeFi stuff that we got into with the premium crypto group, they've all just exploded except for Unifi, because Unifi went down. I think we were around $10 when it was recommended. It was cut in half, bought a little bit more, and now it's back to around 10. But you're still talking about a less than $30 million market cap. And this Unified Protocol DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, it's a low float, low market cap, high growth scenario that fills an interesting gap in the DAO, in the DeFi space in terms of the plumbing. And this thing probably gets pretty funky. We're talking about a $28.7 million market cap right now. That could easily go well over 100 million, and it could do it quickly. So if you want a flyer that I think is very solid, that you can buy on Binance.com, I would go ahead and take a look at Unifi. There is another one that is a mega flyer that I just released to our crypto tier 2 and tier 3 members, and need to give them a little bit of a chance to grab some. If you would like that pick, you certainly are welcome to sign up and shoot me a note, or I will shoot anybody who signs up today a note with that information. Also one that we can buy on Binance.com. Some of these you cannot buy easily in different exchanges and areas. We are working on getting some of us, the US folks, the ability to buy some of these one-off names that aren't going to be offered on Coinbase or on the Binance.us and things of that nature. But in any event, to summarize, also DeFi exploding, going to go higher. Ethereum breakout, going higher, good for a trade, has to be a part of a core portfolio. Bitcoin and the entire sector I think we're going to see new highs in February, and we're going to see things kick back into gear, and this market is going higher. Okay. So that is the scoop. I mean, if you get these pullbacks in in crypto and you're light there and you are, or you're looking for new opportunities, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready. You have to have accounts open. You have to have funds, your fiat funds there, settled, ready to hit the buy button, hit the, put in limits below the market and get ahead of the curve, or you'll be behind the curve and you're going to be in a position like you probably may be already, which is that, as we were buying this stuff and pounding the table all last summer, last fall to get ahead of the curve, and now are extremely profitable and in the money, you may still be playing catch up. Try to get ahead of that and open the accounts. Even if it's Coinbase Pro, get that bank connected, get some of that fiat over into those exchanges. If you're US based, those, Coinbase is the main one that I would say you want to get set up in, because some of these smaller tokens and coins you can buy on Coinbase. They're not so small anymore. I mean, we were able to do it with Uniswap and some others that we've bought recently, and those are working out well. So that's it for today. That's a quick update on the state of the crypto markets, and it's for you, the YouTube followers, who I appreciate staying on top of what I release here, which some of this doesn't even make it to the newsletter. So that's it for now. Have a great day.